It's almost 2026 and I still find this Nintendo Switch Lite to be very reliable. And there are many reasons why I prefer not to get a Nintendo Switch 2. One is the battery life. The battery life on my Nintendo Switch Lite is still a lot longer than the Nintendo Switch 2, which means it would last me a lot longer on the plane and on the go than a Nintendo Switch 2. My second reason for not getting a Nintendo Switch 2 is because there aren't that many exclusives on it. I mean, there's Mario Kart World, which is the launch title, which, unless you're like a race game fan, or a fan of racing games, or a fan of Mario games, you're probably not gonna get it. And also, there's Donkey Kong Bonanza and Metroid Prime 4, but those are the only exclusives on the Nintendo Switch 2. And those aren't enough for me to want to buy it. My third reason for not wanting to get a Nintendo Switch 2 is because of the stupid game keycards. Like, seriously, what the fuck was Nintendo thinking when they decided to put a bunch of these third-party titles onto game keycards? Like, come on. They're like physical cartridges, but they don't have the games on them. You actually when you plug in the game keycard, you have to be connected to the internet to download the games onto your Switch 2 from the eShop. And in order to play those games, you have to have the game keycard in your Switch 2. This has like the worst aspects of both physical media and digital media. Like, what the fuck was Nintendo thinking when they came up with these game keycards? Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the fact that Nintendo decided to allow Game Freak to put the spin-off title Pokemon Pocopio, which they were creating, onto a game keycard, just to slowly ease people into transitioning into buying game keycards. Like, come on, Nintendo. Come on, Game Freak. What the fuck are you guys thinking? Like, seriously, I thought game keycards were supposed to be for third-party titles, which, honestly, I think game keycards in general suck ass and are anti-consumer. Like, seriously. Pokemon is basically owned by Nintendo, or it's owned by Game Freak, which is licensed by Nintendo. But seriously, you cannot just justify putting a Pokemon game on a game keycard, or any game on a game keycard in general. Swear. This is very, I swear, these game keycards are very anti-consumer. And I've heard rumors that Nintendo is now quietly discontinuing the game keycards, because they found out how much of an anti-consumer move that the game keycards were. My fourth reason for not getting a Nintendo Switch 2 is because Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Oh boy, this one. Oh my goodness. Like, you can't make this shit up. You're going to charge $10 for a welcome tour of your new console? Imagine if Apple charged like $10 for a welcome tour of the new iPhone. You guys would be complaining to Apple, telling them that this is an anti-consumer move. Not only that, but Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour won Worst Game of the Year. I'm not even joking. What the fuck were they thinking when they made this? And to be honest, I think it deserves the title Worst Game of 2025. Because, I swear, $10 for a fucking welcome tour of a new console? You can't justify that. My fifth reason for not getting a Nintendo Switch 2 is because of the stupid end-user license agreement. I've heard stories of people getting their Switches bricked, or their Switch 2s bricked, because they put in games that were used. Like, come on, this is like an anti-consumer move. And I've even heard stories of people buying bricked Switch 2s on the secondary market. And I also even heard a story about someone who got their Switch 2 bricked because they changed their username. You've got to be fucking kidding me. What the actual fuck was Nintendo thinking when they put in this stupid end user license agreement which gave them the ability to brick Nintendo Switch 2s on a whim? You've got to be fucking kidding me. And then we will have console fanboys like Harmon Smith who will try to justify Nintendo's anti-consumer practices. Yeah, and he's probably gonna write a console fanfic about the Nintendo Switch 2 dominating the Steam Deck. Like, come on. You're gonna write about a console dominating another console? What the fuck? I also prefer to play on my Nintendo Switch Lite over a Nintendo Switch 2 because at least Nintendo won't be able to brick it. And at least it has a lot of games that I could actually play on. It. Seriously though, I would not want to know what a console dominating another console in doggy style would look like. I don't want to know what that would look like. I seriously don't want to know. Another reason I'm not planning on buying a Nintendo Switch 2 is because, let's just say, YouTube can't even operate on it. You can't even operate YouTube on it. Seriously, you can't. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. And judging from what I'm seeing, I don't think a lot of people want to buy the Nintendo Switch 2 at $450. I mean, I went to my local Walmart and Target, and let's just say, they were stocked with Nintendo Switch 2s. Like, seriously, Nintendo is trying to justify $80 games as well. Like, come on. I mean, you could actually try to justify paying $450 for a console, but $80 games? What the actual fuck? Like, I'd understand if it's $50. I think $60 was a little too much. But seriously, $80? You cannot justify trying to pay $80 for a game. And if it's $80, if you're going to try to price it at $80, it better be good. Oh yeah, and another reason I prefer my Nintendo Switch Lite over a Nintendo Switch 2 is because it's more portable. I mean, it's a lot smaller, but it's more portable, and I can actually play games on it on the go. So yeah. And my final reason for not getting a Nintendo Switch 2 is because a lot of Nintendo Switch 1 games don't even work on the Switch 2. Like, you try to plug in the cartridge onto the Nintendo Switch 2, and you try to play the game, and it crashes immediately. Like, come on. Nintendo, you gotta fix this mess. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.